How do you stop your toddler from hitting you using gentle parenting? That is $1 million question that I'm going to be answering in this video, because I'm going to share with you some don'ts and do's when it comes to toddler hitting, so you address toddler hitting in an effective yet gentle way. My name is Marcela Collier. I'm the owner of Impact Club, parenting education online platform. Over there we have classes, workshops, and the Parenting with Understanding program to help you, equip you with all the skills you need to respond to your children's behaviors effectively. Okay, so let's talk about toddler hitting. Toddler hitting is a developmentally appropriate behavior. If you've thought, I don't know why my toddler is hitting me, if I've never hit him, he hasn't seen that here in this house, where is he learning that from? He's not learning it from any place, from anywhere. It is a toddler behavior, is developmentally appropriate. Why is this happening? Because they have undeveloped brains, and when they feel overly excited, so let's just say your toddler hits you and he keeps wiggling and laughing, it's not because they find it funny to hit you, it's because they're excited. So when they're very excited, their brain doesn't know how to regulate that excitement, and it could come out as aggression because it doesn't have the impulse control. Or when your child is upset, the same thing happens in the brain. The brain doesn't have the self-control, the regulation to be able to control those impulses, and they may end up hitting you when they're upset. It is a developmentally appropriate behavior. When your child is hitting you, it's not because there is something wrong with your parenting. It is not because there is something wrong with your child. It is because he is a toddler. Now, let's talk about the don'ts. A very natural reaction for parents is that they feel really triggered when their toddlers hit them, and then they overly react. So they may say things such as, "You do not hit mommy," and then you push the hand down, or they just push them away. Sometimes if they don't do gentle parenting, they might hit their kids back or something like that. But even if we don't hit back, our overreaction fits that behavior, because children look for reactions as well. And if they see that gets a reaction or an overreaction, then they're going to keep trying that. They're going to keep doing that. So how do you handle it? The first thing is to assess if it is because your child is excited. Remember, when they're excited, their brain has a hard time regulating, and they may end up punching you during play or punching their siblings during play. So if they're excited, they're not upset, they are somewhat regulated, and they're able to listen to you. So what do? You do what I teach in the Parenting with Understanding program. It's all module 3, but to give you a little fast food version, you give them replacement behaviors, which is basically modeling to them what you want from them. So if they're playing with you and then they hit you and then they keep wiggling, you're like, "Oh no, if you wanna touch mommy," and then take their little hands like this, right? And you reinforce that behavior when they touch you back, and then you hug them, you acknowledge that, you're like, "Yes, like that's how mommy likes to be touched," and then you engage with them. Like that, they start seeing and getting the skill of touching you appropriately and knowing what to do with their limbs when they're that excited. What about if they're upset? So again, because they're excited and hitting you doesn't mean they find it funny hitting you. They just don't know what to do with their limbs, because when they're excited, their brain doesn't know how to regulate all that energy. When your child is upset. So when they're upset, it's a different story, because if you try to model the appropriate behavior and all those things that I told you when they were excited, they're going to keep punching you, because it's going to take longer for your child's brain to regulate. Instead of going right to the teaching, just allow time for release of emotions as safe as possible. If they're hitting you, you say, "Okay, I see that you need to calm down. Mommy's gonna keep her body safe and your body safe. I'm going to set you down on the couch." and let them have the tantrum on the couch. It's okay if they're hitting the pillow. It's okay if they're hitting their head against the couch. They're not hurting their head by hitting their head against the couch. Remove siblings, remove the pets, because they might end up hitting the little doggy that's jumping on them. So allow the expression of those emotions in a safe manner. Remember, if they're trying to hit you, there is because they're out of control, not because they want to hit you. Once they had that release, then go back to the teaching. Every single behavior communicates a need. Over the Parenting with Understanding program, I go need by need and tell you what to do with each need. But so far, I want to tell you that it's either a physical or an emotional need. Your child is overly tired, he's already 9 p.m., and that's why they're on meltdown mode hitting. So what is the long-term solution? The long-term solution for this is to adjust their bedtime so they get proper sleep, and then when they go to bedtime, they're not overly tired. And the same thing with the other needs. You correct hitting on the long term when you really assess what the needs are, prepare in advance how to meet those needs, so your children don't get to meltdown mode every day as often. The last thing that I want to say about this is that the more consistent you are with the responses, the teaching, the proper ways to touch you, to refer to you, the more consistent you are, the more you're going to see over time, maybe not now that their brain is developing, but over time when they're a little older, that they're going to start expressing and releasing anger in a more safer way on their own without even needing your prompting or so much guidance. Just because gentle, respectful parenting is that way, you start seeing the fruit with hard work and consistency. Now, how do you help your child calm down when they're in meltdown mode? When they are like that, their heart rate is up, they are not able to articulate, their breathing is fast. Work on the physical portion first, and then after that on the emotional. For example, taking their breathing pattern back to normal. You do it with breathing techniques. I have a free downloadable for you full of breathing techniques that you can apply with your toddler who is not reading yet. It has visuals that they're able to follow on their own, and is going to help you settle themselves down in a shorter time. I'm going to leave the link on the description if you want to grab it. It's completely free. So what about discipline? How do you discipline your toddler? How do you discipline your child? I created a video on discipline last week. This video is right here. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and remember, follow me on all social media platforms. My main one is TikTok at Impact Club, and Instagram Impact Club everywhere. And keep parenting your children with understanding. I'll see you next time.